Okay, here we go. There was a house. Everybody draw a house in the air with me. And the house was down by the side of the sea. Can you make the sea with me? And in the house there was a man. Can you make it? If you're happy and you know it, and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, nod your head. Break and a crack, and the first egg opened up, and out came a little duckling, and it said, quack. What did it say? It said, quack. Now they sat down for the Ghoul Gazette, and there it said, Lily is the best at dancing. But when she looked inside of the cup, there was money. Can you count with me in a big way? Ready? There wasn't £10. There wasn't £20. There are times in teaching when you wind up thinking, what am I doing? These children are never going to get this in a million years. But today wasn't one of those days. Yesterday, after struggling to try and get them to write an adventure story, where the children fell into that thing that children do, which is where they write what they think the teacher wants to read, and it stops being a story, to today, where it was just excellent stories, lots of effort from all of the children. And plus that, with the teacher that I've been working with, her confidence, skill and experience came to the fore. She showed me different ways of making sure that the children put enough detail into the story so that they're not just writing the bare bones and then, and where you can add it as an extra thing. It's all part of this big write scheme. Some of the children got confused by it because there's lots of great gaps where there should be comments written in, and they've written 3 sentences, but not today. Wonderful. Really productive, and it was quality and quantity. Although we did get into that state where if this is the sheet of paper, when the children got to this part, after putting in all of the description and the feelings and the setting, the story would be finished in 2 lines. So we got past that. And I also told the story of the king's carpet, where the king gets his chancellor, who's tall and strong, to measure it out in paces, and the carpet maker gets his son to measure it out in paces. And then they realise that not everybody's the same size. It's a good story. I really enjoy it. So, you might be asking, why do I do so much travelling? Well, in the first instance, all I was going to do were the days in Manchester. And then after the Ofsted, the school was placed in special measures. And then it was under some kind of cloud as to whether I would be employed if under special measures they would allow to come in. So I didn't know if I was going to lose 30 days work by Ofsted saying that I couldn't come into the school. So what I did do was I took all the work that I could on the worst case scenario, which would be that I would have none of the work in Manchester. So that's why I've been dotting backwards and forwards from one side of the country to the other and going up and down the country, because I took at short notice, I've got to tell you, because it wasn't entirely certain until mid-December that I was going to be working here, and I couldn't afford to not work in that time. So I've been very busy, and it looked almost an impossible task at the beginning, where it was 24 straight days and probably something like 32 different settings in that time, because when I was working with the nurseries, I was working in 4 different places at a time each day. So I'm very pleased that we're towards the end of the tour. As I've already said, this isn't the end. I'm going to be working steadily until about April the 12th, and then I'll leave on April the 16th to go to Chile. So, an interesting journey for me, and hopefully for you to watch, and varied, very varied. I've learned such a lot from the teachers that I've been working with. It's been a great journey, and I've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed it, despite having a cold right now. A cold, it's a man with a cold. I mean, I did learn when I was bringing the children up that nothing stops when you have a cold. So when I'd be pushing 2 children in the pram and having another one dragging on my arm, and I'm going up the hill as the snow falls, then you realise that you've just got to get on with it, and hopefully I have just got on with it. So, this is the last teaching session of this tour. Tomorrow I'll be in 2 different schools in the northeast, and then at a friend's school on the Friday, and Sunday I'll be setting off again to go back to Manchester and then to Beverley, and then goodness only knows after that. That's enough information for my head to hold. I don't know how I feel, to be honest. It seemed strange. It seemed almost like this huge mountain in front of me, and now I've got so many home thoughts from abroad that I haven't really had a chance to talk about. The fact that I hit 1,000 miles in the first week, and I'm now getting up to about 700 miles. Presumably I'll be getting very close to 2,000 when I've got home. It's just been a roller coaster. I know that that's a very glib thing to say, with a lot more highs than lows, and the lows you ignore. It's a bit like that thing where you exaggerate the wins and you forget about the losses. It's just a case of trying to impart what it is that I can do, because I can write, and I don't really need to teach other people how to write, because that doesn't affect the way that I write. I can write. The top and bottom of it is, I'm here to help, and sometimes children don't really see that the teacher and I are here to give them support. And I can't imagine how many children I've seen in this time. I can't imagine how many stories I've created. If it was 4 a day over 20 days, then that's 80 stories that have been created. It's been great, and I'm really looking forward to going home, and I will have some things to say, I'm sure, on the road, but I'm so pleased I've done it. Well, I can't believe it. The day has come. I've finished, and now I'm setting off from Manchester to get back home. I'd like to think that I had something profound to say, but I don't really. I just want to get home and see my things in my house, be with my wife in my town. I won't be there for very long, but I'm so excited. It's terrible.
With Cadbury, that a factory near Bristol would be kept open, only to dash them once the deal was complete. Appearing before MPs, he said a commitment to keep the Somerdale plant open was made without knowing that a new factory in Poland was well advanced. Mr. Farstow promised that
the whole idea on the journey back was that I would have enough tape to stop and talk and reflect on what had gone on, but I think in my excitement I forgot to switch the camera off, so I basically got 20 minutes of the back of one car, and to a certain extent I'm quite pleased that that's what happened. Otherwise it might have been a bit of a contrivance. So what have I learned? What have I found out? What have I discovered? I've discovered that I work a lot harder than I thought I did. I'm almost worn out by watching the things that I do. I'm pleased with the work that I do. I've learned so much and so many new techniques from some great teachers. I've written a play. I've made several small plays just up on the spot. I've learned a lot about myself. I really enjoyed the journey. I'm very proud of myself that I've done it all. And all of the things that might have annoyed, well, you just put those to one side and forget about them and make sure that you don't do a job that's going to cause them to happen again. So pleased to be coming back. So pleased with what I've done. I've really enjoyed all of this, and yes, I will, and I do, have to do it all over again.